Okay, picture this. One of the biggest cities in the world, 1 million people, and it's suddenly completely cut off from everything. No imports, no trade, no new resources coming in. The whole place is on the verge of collapsing. Now, this isn't the plot of some disaster movie. It's the real story of how ancient Tokyo was forced to build a zero-waste society just to survive, centuries before sustainability was even a word.
But before we get into all that, let me ask you something. What if you couldn't throw anything away? Seriously, no trash can, no landfill, no garbage day. Every single thing you use has to have a second life, or a third, or maybe even a fourth. It sounds pretty much impossible, right? Well, for an entire city, it turned out to be the absolute key to their survival.
So, our story kicks off way back in the year 1600 in a city called Edo, which we of course know today as Tokyo, and it was just exploding. It was on its way to becoming one of the largest cities on the entire planet.
But that explosive growth, it had a really dark side. The city was, and I mean this literally, eating itself alive. The forests were disappearing, the rivers were flooding constantly, and trash was just piling up. Edo was speeding toward a massive ecological disaster.
I mean, just think about what it takes to build a city from scratch. You need wood. So much wood for every single building. While the forests all around Edo were completely stripped bare. And with no trees left to hold the soil, every time it rained hard, devastating floods would just rip through the streets. Resources were stretched so thin, the city's future looked incredibly bleak. And then, right when it seemed like things could not possibly get any worse, a huge political decision came down that changed everything. The ruling shogun made a choice that was either going to save Japan or doom it.
It was a policy called sakoku, which means closed country. For over 200 years, Japan basically sealed its borders. No more trade, no imports, no resources from the outside world. The whole nation was forced to become radically self-sufficient, using only what they already had inside the country.
The stakes just couldn't have been higher. This wasn't some trendy green lifestyle choice. This was pure survival. With the borders locked down, the people of Edo had a simple choice: innovate or perish. They had to totally rethink their relationship with every single object they owned. And you know what? Out of all that intense pressure, an absolutely incredible idea was born, a system so smart and efficient that we're still trying to learn from it today. This was the moment Edo's circular blueprint came to life. So what in the world is a circular economy? Well, it's pretty much the exact opposite of our modern buy it, use it, toss it model. In a circular system, there's no such thing as waste. There are only resources that are waiting for their next job, and the people of Edo became absolute masters of this, all out of sheer necessity.
And this philosophy wasn't just some abstract concept, it was woven into every part of daily life. The wooden parts for houses were standardized, so you could take a building apart like Legos and just rebuild it somewhere else. The straw left over from the rice harvest? No, you don't throw that out. It was woven into everything from sandals to sturdy rope. And maybe the most beautiful example, a broken ceramic bowl wasn't trash. It was carefully repaired with gold lacquer, a practice called kintsugi, which made it even more valuable and beautiful than before. This created whole new jobs, specialists who could repair anything from a paper screen to a wooden bucket.
But if you really want to understand just how deep this mindset went, we've got to look at maybe the most amazing example in this whole system, the incredible journey of a single piece of clothing. This just perfectly captures the whole philosophy. So a kimono starts its life as this beautiful, prized garment, but when it got worn out, it wasn't tossed. Nope, it was resewn into a cover for a futon mattress. Then, as that started to fray, the soft old fabric would be cut up and repurposed into diapers for a baby. Once it was too tattered even for that, it lived another life as a simple cleaning cloth. And only then, at the absolute end of its journey, when it was basically just threads, was it finally burned for fuel. And the ash from that fire? It was used to fertilize the soil. Absolutely nothing was wasted.
And that right there, that's the secret. We tend to think things have the most value when they're brand new and they become worthless when they're old. In Edo, the real value was in an object's future potential. A broken pot wasn't garbage, it was just raw material for the next thing. That one little shift in how you see the world, it changes everything.
So, what does a 400-year-old story from Japan have to do with us today? Well, a lot, actually. As we face our own modern challenges, with overflowing landfills and dwindling resources, the Edo Blueprint offers us a powerful and proven alternative. I mean, just look at the difference here. It couldn't be more clear, right? The Edo mindset was this continuous, clever cycle of repair, reuse, and repurpose.
Our modern mindset, so often, is just a one-way street, from the factory to our house to the dump. It's a totally different way of seeing the materials around us.
And I think this is really the most important lesson here. The people of Edo didn't just scrape by. They built a thriving, creative, and incredibly resilient society. It's proof that living sustainably doesn't have to be about scarcity or giving things up. It can be about being ingenious and creative and seeing the hidden value in everything around us.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. As you go about your day, just look at the things you might normally call trash. An old t-shirt, a glass jar, maybe a broken gadget. Inspired by the incredible ingenuity of old Tokyo, just ask yourself, what waste that I see around me is actually a resource in disguise?